Joining us now is author Jeff Copeland. Jeff, welcome to the show.
It's so nice of you guys to have me on. I'm thrilled.
Oh my God! Well,
we're happy to have
look,
you,
Jeff. First of all, congratulations on the book. I think we are the same person. Which is, I was like, what's going on here? Because we are gays in suburban St. Louis, longing for something bigger. And for some unknown reason, both of us, I too wanted to be an Avon lady.
I never knew this before this moment.
That is hilarious.
I know. I was like, how did you know? Why did we both want to be Avon ladies?
Yeah, why? I need to hear this right away. The answer to this question.
I think it was all the colorful lipsticks.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the corner. Yeah, but I remember like the whole thing of like ding dong, Avon calling and having parties. For me, it was the fragrances. For some reason, I was obsessed with my sister's Love's Baby Soft.
Well, they were all so cute, you know, all the packaging and the shape that the bottles were. It was colorful and the bottles were cute. And it was just, I don't know. I thought it was really neat.
I know. Thank you. Okay, cool.
I enjoyed the products too when I was, I did enjoy them. I didn't want to be that person, but I love that you two did though. That's sweet.
Yeah. So what was it like for you, even though we are not the same person, growing up as that gay kid in suburban St. Louis?
Well, I mean, back when I was a kid, this was the 1970s, and there was no, diversity, equity, or inclusion. I mean, if you were a gay kid, you were pretty much screwed. Mm-hmm. And I was bullied and made fun of, and I was lost and floundering. Mm-hmm. And I read a book by Rona Barrett. She was a huge Hollywood gossip columnist.
Yes. Oh, we know Rona.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And she was also a bullied kid who found her way into celebrity journalism and, became the queen of Hollywood and had a lot of success. And so at the age of 17, I decided I wanted to be a celebrity interviewer. And my mother had this crazy idea that if I sent flowers and a soda bottle to Carol Channing, that she'd give me an interview. And it worked. So
fabulous.
So long story short, I became a teenage celebrity journalist, and that led me to I was interviewing all these famous people. Okay, the irony is, I wouldn't go to my high school prom. I wouldn't go to my high school graduation because I felt like such an outsider. But yet I was running around with, Cloris Leachman and Joshua Logan and legendary, interesting people.
You made your own world.
I created my own world, and it inspired me to want to go to Hollywood because by the time I got to Josh Logan, who was a Broadway legend, I realized I didn't want to just report on this world. I wanted to be part of it. Mm-hmm. And so I ran away to Hollywood. Now, Holly Woodlawn, when she was going through the same kind of crisis when she was a teenager, Holly Woodlawn ran away as a 15-year-old boy from Miami, Florida, and wound up living in New York as an underage kid on the streets and had to prostitutes to survive. But that story Lou Reed sang about.
Taking a walk on the wild side.
Oh, that was about Holly?
Holly, yeah. And Holly from...
Holly came from Miami.
Oh, that's right. I know the lyric, but I didn't put it together. Yeah. Thank you for all this.
Yes. So how did your two paths cross with Holly Woodlawn? Okay,
well, so, I'd run up to Hollywood because I was an aspiring screenwriter. Mm-hmm. And I struggled. It was a real hard struggle. Mm-hmm. And we came together quite serendipitously. A friend of mine invited me to a party. I spotted this androgynous being across the way. I could not figure out if this person was a man or a woman, and I was fascinated by that. And I turned to a friend and I said, "Who is that?" And he said, "Oh, that's Holly Woodlawn. She's a mess." Well,
Yeah.
that intrigued me anymore. I was
Right.
like fascinated.
Yeah.
You know, he said she was a Warhol superstar, and so long story short, I did a little research and I looked her up in the phone book and I asked her out to dinner and I coerced her into being in a movie I wanted to make. But I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to raise money, and I was very naive, and I thought if I got a literary agent, the literary agent would help me raise money for this film I wanted to make that was going to put Holly Woodlawn back on the map. And what happened was I sent a mass mailing out to all these lit agents, and there was a small literary agent on Melrose, and the intern at the office, who was like an apprentice, he found my script in the trash with Holly's photo attached, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, we don't represent screenwriters, but I think there's a book in Holly Woodlawn."
And that,
So what happened? Yeah,
that turned into, was it My Life on High Heels?
right. So we came together, and I became Holly's co-writer on A Low Life and High Heels. So really, Holly Woodlawn, who was a washed-up alcoholic Andy Warhol superstar who could barely pay her rent, she was the first person who went to bat for me as a writer in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Look, it's so funny because Holly Woodlawn was kind of everywhere in LA in the 80s and 90s. Actually, my husband had a particularly odd drunken night in someone's kitchen with her, just like at a party. So she was kind of like, was everywhere, and also kind of collected people to champion, and also maybe use might be too strong of a word, but
no, that's about right.
Okay, there we are. So she would just kind of use them, but like how amazing that you had. I can only imagine as a 20-something promising screenwriter that you have somebody, because again, the reason I started talking about St. Louis at the beginning is I get it. You're talking to, like, I was the kid who would tape the Tony Awards, and at the end of the Tony Awards, there was a commercial for the New York Board of Tourism that I would watch over and over and over again because it led the glamorous life that I wanted, So, and I wanted to be in New York and be a part of all of that. That never happened, but I can only imagine, as somebody who wanted to be a part of Los Angeles and a part of Hollywood, to have Holly to be your champion must have just been like over the moon.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I got to let you know. I'm like Ellen, okay? I did not know much about the Andy Warhol superstars.
Okay.
I didn't follow it. So I wasn't really enamored with Holly as an Andy Warhol superstar. I just thought that I liked Holly. After we went to dinner and I got to know Holly, I liked Holly as a person. And then I did research and I learned that George Cukor had tried to get her an Academy Award for her role in Trash. And I thought, wow, this could be a mutually beneficial opportunity, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Jeff, what's one side of Holly that fans might be surprised to learn about that you talk about in your book?
Oh, well, I think probably when I would go over and clean her apartment, and I write about this, where she flies into a drunken rage because she's upset that, other people are getting the attention, okay? She's worked and worked and worked, and she's being overlooked for certain opportatives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal when Trash came out. But you see, Holly had challenges. So, an example was when RuPaul skyrocketed. Holly was there 20 years before.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But Paul was a more marketable commodity. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see that.
I look forward to reading the book. It's been crazy over the holidays. I do look forward to reading it, but without any spoilers, did Holly get it together ever when it came to like alcoholism and other issues that she might have had?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay, all right, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
You
Well, you
know,
got to
I mean,
read the book, folks, to get that answer. So.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it's a Hollywood memoir, but really, at the story's core, it's just a rallying call for all of us to just embrace the risk, screw the fear, and just go for it, which is what Holly did when she left Miami, Florida, and it's what I did when I went to Hollywood. And I had a lot of failure, folks, like 8 years of failure. I got there when I was 22, didn't get a really good break until I was 30, and Hollywood Lawn was in between.
Wow.
So I met her when I was about 25.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a love letter to determination and just going for it. One thing that I do love, I love the title, just because it can be read a couple different ways. Like as then like the closing of a letter. So love you madly, Holly Woodlawn. Or it could just be like an effusive statement that you're making to her, like I love you madly, Holly Woodlawn. Your relationship with her was complicated, to say the least.
Right.
As you were writing this memoir, what lessons, like what was surprising for you as you were checking, as you were working through this? Because again, it was a complicated relationship.
Yeah, well, it was a very fun book for me to write until I got to when all hell broke loose.
When all hell broke, yeah.
And the irony is when we achieved our biggest success together, and it all just spiraled out of control, and it was a disaster. And so in the first couple of drafts, I just really let loose. I just let it all out. And then a good friend of mine, Tam Warner, she's a choreographer. She read it, and she said, "You know what? You have every right to feel this way, but it's not. It's so angry." And so I did like 10 more drafts, and I just got all that anger out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
100%.
I was so hurt on this. I had to start all over at the age of 30.
Yeah.
So forgiveness. I learned how to forgive. And you know what? It's funny. I choose to remember Holly as when things were wonderful and magical. We had so much hope and so much excitement, and things were going really good. It's painful for me to relive the memories of the decline.
Yeah.
What do you miss most about her on the positive side?
On the positive side, I loved just her sense of humor. I mean, Holly was so funny. And, we were broke. We were living in this shitty apartment house on the wrong side of the tracks. And, we lived next door to each other. We'd knock on the wall and put our heads out the window, and we just had fun. We'd go running around, going to garage sales and thrift shops to decorate our places. We didn't have any money. We had a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Doesn't take
and you were
money
eating up an ironing board.
Eating
front of a television.
Isn't that crazy? We couldn't afford a table.
No, but it's like, again, this is why it feels like we are the same person, because it's just, there's something magical about that time. Like living through it is really, really challenging. And, hindsight is 20/20, but there's something about how romantic a period that is when you're found somebody who is charismatic and life is an adventure because you're still so young and everything is kind of unfolding before you. Like it all just seems just so magical, even though it was probably a little bit hellacious at the same time, you know?
Yeah, it was. And it's unfortunate that things didn't turn out better for us. But I'm hoping, I wrote this book because I wanted to take that bad situation. I wanted to take all the wrongs and I wanted to make them right. Taking a sour lemon, turning it to lemonade. And what I would really like to do is I would love for this book. I got to figure out a way for this book to become a staged musical. That's my goal.
I see it could happen. I feel it could happen for you.
I think it could, because the stories are there. They are rich. Yes. So look, the book is Love You Madly, Hollywood Lawn. You can get it from your local bookstores or wherever you buy books. Try to get it from a local bookstore, especially like a gay one that might be. Oh, we're doing that around here.
Like on a bridge.
On a bridge.
Chicago.
There we are, right there. There you are.
If you have it.
Yes.
Well, head on over to Unabridged Bookstores, one of my favorite
Please,
bookstores in the
Unabridged,
city.
yes.
Yes. Jeff Copeland, again, congratulations on the book. Congratulations on grit and determination and just going out there and doing it.
Thank you. I'm so thrilled you guys invited me on.
Oh, well,
really,
it
it's
was
an
our
honor.
pleasure to have you, Jeff.
Thank you. And just remember, ding dong, Avon calling. There we go. Oh, Jeff Copeland. Again, the book is Love You Madly, Hollywood Lawn. Get it from wherever you buy your books. Jeff Copeland, thank you for joining us, and happy holidays to you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care,
you.
Jeff.